Statistically, the church in America has been dying since the 1970s.
I can't take a friend of mine who doesn't have a relationship with God. I can't drag them into a church.
I doubt that there's a single Sunday now where I don't come in and look out and feel disappointed.
What's going on? What went wrong? This isn't who Jesus is.
In a decade, America's going to have a whole different look as far as what is a church and what about all these empty buildings.
As the director of this film, let me share with you how this film can help you establish a promising future for your church. I'm in Norway today, a country with deep and formative Christian roots. And though there are beautiful churches throughout the country, the number of people attending church here has continued to dwindle, as it has in other European countries. Now, just 2% of Norwegians regularly attend church. The church buildings are now little more than quaint reminders of a bygone era. Could the same thing happen in America? Well, to a real degree, it is happening in America. That's why we made this film. It's critical to understand what's happening around us, where present downward trends are leading, and how our approaches can change to bring about new vitality for the church.
All across America, we have congregations that are closing. Depending on who you read and listen to, upwards of dozens a week to hundreds a week, hundreds a month. I mean, you can't say that this is a lack of beautiful architecture or fantastic programming, or we finally got the right coffee in the church. We've got all these retrofitted, upfitted, outfitted. We've got it going, man, when it comes to church. And look at the result of this.
It was a model that was built in generations past, and the society, the culture has moved far beyond that.
This church building is up for sale. It's not an uncommon sight anymore. In fact, 4,000 churches a year close their doors for good. In this film, we look not only at the institution of the church, we look at another big American institution, the Eastman Kodak Company. What can the church learn from this unfortunate story of decline? We see how that company fell into bankruptcy after failing to recognize and respond to the rise of digital photography. Like the church, those inside Kodak thought their size and heritage would carry them through.
They had enormous influence. You could go to the farthest reaches of the world and not speak the language and just say Kodak and they'd know what you're talking about. There was a sense of confidence. There was definitely a sense of it would go on forever. It was such a big place. It's just hard to imagine that something could come along that Kodak couldn't respond to.
For me, I feel like the danger is that with numbers, a culture or an organization gains momentum, and that there can be times where you're doing what's best for the organization to grow and not best as who you are as a church. And that momentum can create some of the division of focus or purpose.
For the last 50 years, denominations and organizations have rewarded size. There's no correlation between the size and strength of a church. Big isn't better, small isn't automatically better, healthy is better.
Looking back, part of Kodak's demise came from a lack of focus on its true mission. Could that be troubling today's church as well?
We got confused as a bit of what a business we're in. Are we a chemical company? Are we a film company? Are we an imaging company? We didn't know what business we're in.
Well, what is the mission of Park Church?
We will make Christ visible by living, believing, and
keep a membership up, keep it fortified, keep everyone involved, keep everyone feeling good about being there.
To be very visible in the community, to work to make life better for all.
We have had a very strong greening committee.
Showing, I'm forgetting the last one, but doing the Word of God. So that's the stated mission.
Within, a quarter of a mile here, there's 5 huge old churches. And those churches' main objective, their mission project, is to keep that building standing and heated and, all in repair. That's a lot of money.
Because Kodak had been doing the same things for so long, there was great resistance to change. They were fixated on what they might lose rather than on what they might gain. Again, the church may have something to learn here too.
They wanted new blood, they wanted new thinking. But it always got down to, okay, now we've really got to make a serious commitment to this new idea or this new approach. And in some way, it's going to impact negatively an existing model that works. A lot of resistance, because it could potentially negatively affect the existing business model. That fear of losing what you have supersedes any potential advantage you have for reaching for what you can get. It's something new.
We can't lose one more member. We just can't lose any more members. In which case, we will never make the changes we have to make.
We are set in our ways, and we can't change.
In this film, you'll see not only the challenges, but some real inspiration about what it means to be the church. And you'll see what happens when God leaves the building, in a good way, activating His people to take His love out to the community every day of the week.
So the big issue for the church is not how to do church better, but the real question for the American church is how to be church better. How do you be church where people already are?
It is about the people, and it's not about the venue. Where would Jesus be? He'd be right here. There's a lot of people that come in that probably would never step into a church.
The atmosphere is welcoming and warm, and it's no judging, and it's done well for my spiritual being as well as my mental being. And I've been inviting people to come, and it's just where you want to be.
A lot of times with ministry, it's all about ministry, and we miss the people right in front of us. Here's an opportunity to sit down and hear their stories, to really understand where they're at in their life journey, and to come alongside them in that journey.
Tilly Bergen started Mission Arlington when she saw the opportunity to minister to people in the apartment complexes in the Dallas Metroplex. If you were to count the people who gather in over 300 mini congregations each week, it would be one of the largest churches in America. But they don't meet in a megachurch. They meet in their apartments, houses, and community centers to love and encourage each other in their faith. When God Left the Building is not just a movie to watch, it serves as a catalyst to get your entire congregation on the same page of the current and coming challenges facing the church. And it will inspire your people to explore together where God is leading your church.